So right now, as of mid-2022, Sennheiser has finally finished revamping their whole truly wireless earbud lineup. Now, we've got the entry-level CXs, we've also got the CX Plus, which I have always liked since day one. There are the Momentum 3s, which are currently my favorite truly wireless earbuds to use to listen to music with, and there are the Sennheiser Sport. Now, all of these earbuds are using the same 7mm true response transducers, and they all sound great. But if you're trying to choose between any of these earbuds, today we're going to break down Sennheiser's whole wireless earbud lineup because the features here are pretty different. Now, regarding pricing, both the entry-level CXs and Sennheiser Sport retail for $130, whereas the CX Plus retail for $180 and the Momentum 3s retail for $250. Now, even though at first glance it might not seem like it's worth upgrading from the CX Plus to the Momentum 3s, because they have relatively the same features, the performance between these two earbuds is large. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below, or you can also tap on the YouTube shopping button as well. Give it a try. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch shelf down below. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I can be very particular. So I'll only set my name on something that I'm really proud of. Now, first, let's talk about these cases. Now, in general, Sennheiser's earbuds don't have the smallest cases out there. The cases on both the CX and CX Plus are noticeably larger than your AirPods, AirPods 3, AirPods Pro, Galaxy Buds, and Sony earbuds, just to name a few. But both of these CX cases are decently small and you can still daily drive these earbuds without any problem. But then there are the Sennheiser Sport and Momentum 3s cases. Now, these cases are still small enough for everyday carry, but you will notice these cases while they're in your pocket more than the CX cases. Nonetheless, I think these cases are small enough to consider for daily use, but any larger is unacceptable in my opinion. Now, all of these cases charge via a USB-C port as they should, but for right now, wireless charging is reserved for Sennheiser's most premium earbuds, the Momentum 3s. And personally, I think this has to change rather soon because wireless charging can be found on plenty of more affordable earbuds. Regarding battery life, all of these earbuds have decent battery life relative to the size of their case. Now, both the CXs and Sennheiser Sport have an advertised combined battery life of 27 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 9 straight hours, which is good if you're a marathon runner or retail worker, and the case itself can supply 2 additional charges. But then there are the CX Plus, which have an advertised combined battery life of 24 hours with their active noise cancellation turned off. The earbuds themselves can go for 8 straight hours and the case can supply those 2 additional charges. But for me, with their active noise cancellation turned on, the CX Plus are good for about 5 hours. But finally, there are the Momentum 3s, which have an advertised combined battery life of 28 hours with their active noise cancellation turned off. The earbuds themselves can go for 7 straight hours and the case can supply 3 additional charges. And with their active noise cancellation turned on, for me, the Momentum 3s are good for about 4.5 hours of playback time. Overall, all of these earbuds have decent battery life, albeit they are pretty big. But something that Sennheiser does need to improve on their next generation of earbuds is their fast charging. With all of these earbuds, if you were to drop them into their case with a dead battery, a 10-minute charge is going to get you 1 hour of playback time. Whereas with, let's say, the AirPods 3, they're going to get you that same hour of playback time, but from a 5-minute charge. But now let's talk about the earbuds themselves. Regarding scopes, the CXs and Sennheiser Sport have the same scope to them, except the Sennheiser Sport have optional earphones that you can add. Then there are the CX Plus, which have a slightly smaller scope to them than the CXs. And finally, there are the Momentum 3s, which are even smaller than the CX Plus. But regardless, all of these earbuds fit like your standard pair of in-ear earbuds, as in they go into your ear canals a decent amount, like let's say the Galaxy Buds 2, Jabra Elite 7 Pros, or Link Bud S. Now, a standard fit, like what's found on Sennheiser's earbuds, is good for lockdown, but it doesn't feel as natural as a pair of shallow fitting in-ear earbuds, like let's say the AirPods Pro, Jabra Elite 85Ts, Beats Studio Buds, Beats Fit Pro, and even the Galaxy Buds Pro. Nonetheless, all of Sennheiser's earbuds are comfortable enough to wear, and thankfully they come included with silicone ear tips. So none of these ear tips get super itchy, like let's say the foam ear tips that you'll find on the super popular Sony WF-1000XM4s. But finally, we do have to address the ear fins on these earbuds. Now, both the CXs and CX Plus don't have ear fins, but both the Sennheiser Sport and Momentum 3s do. Now, the ear fins on the Momentum 3s are helpful, but they're not huge, so they might not be super helpful for some people. Whereas the ear fins on the Sennheiser Sport are much larger, and these mean business. So if you're looking for a pair of earbuds to use while you work out, then these are the ones to go with, because these are going to give you the most amount of lockdown here. But in return for all of this lockdown, just keep in mind the Sennheiser Sport do have a slightly thicker case than the CX and CX Plus. Regarding connectivity, with all of these earbuds, each earbud establishes a connection with your phone. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one, it doesn't matter. And this is the connection setup that we expect to see from all of our earbuds nowadays. And thankfully, Sennheiser has finally managed to implement this on all of their earbuds. However, all of these earbuds are better suited to be used with one primary device. These earbuds are not the best option for power users because they won't hot swap between devices like AirPods can. They can't be connected to two devices at the same time like with Jabra's earbuds, and they won't jump from one device to another if another device asks to pair with them like the Beats Studio Buds do. Instead, if you want to switch devices with any of these earbuds, you gotta do that through Sennheiser's app, or you gotta put them into pairing mode every single time you want to switch from one device to another. So, like I said, these aren't the best option for power users. But when it comes to overall performance, all of these earbuds have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. And when it comes to audio codecs, both the CXs and Sennheiser Sport have support for SBC, AAC, and aptX. Whereas with Sennheiser's more premium earbuds like the CX Plus and Momentum 3s, these have support for SBC, AAC, aptX, and aptX Adaptive. But keep in mind, if you want to take advantage of aptX, then you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. But regardless, all of these earbuds are still going to sound great even if you're using them with AAC. But now let's talk about actually listening to music with these earbuds. Like I mentioned at the top of this video, all of these earbuds are using the same 7mm true response transducers from Sennheiser. And personally for me, all of these earbuds sound and perform the same. And that's not a bad thing at all, because for me, this current generation of Sennheiser's earbuds are my favorite sounding earbuds, and they should be able to please everyone. Just as you'd expect, all of these earbuds have great instrument separation, just like the last generation of Sennheiser's earbuds. So they all sound very open. But what really stands out on this new generation of Sennheiser's earbuds is their bass. The bass on all of these earbuds resonates very deep and cleanly, but there's also a very good punch to it, something that a lot of other earbuds just don't have. Now, with their stock EQ, these earbuds sound balanced, but if you want even more bass, you can always crank up the bass on any of these earbuds through their app, which works on both iPhone and Android. And surprisingly, these earbuds can have more bass to them than, let's say, the Beats Fit Pro or Beats Studio Buds. And again, there's the punch in the bass of Sennheiser's earbuds, which just isn't found on the Beats. Or if you want a more neutral or vocals focused EQ, then you can always reduce the bass on these earbuds and raise their mids and treble. Personally for me, I just use these earbuds with their stock EQ when I'm going to listen to music with them, but when I'm going to watch a movie with them, I do like to raise the mids and treble a little bit so that dialogue is easier to understand. But overall, if you're someone that's really concerned about sound quality, then any of Sennheiser's earbuds are a great option. And whether you go with the CXs or Momentum 3s, they're gonna sound great. Now, when it comes to the MIDI controls on these earbuds, all of these earbuds are using touchpads, and they're all strictly tap-based, as in there are no swiping gestures here. Now, all of these touchpads are very accurate and they're easy enough to use. And through Sennheiser's app, you can customize the layout of these touchpads to your liking. But the important thing here is that you can control your music and adjust the volume of your music all from the earbuds themselves. But do keep in mind that the CXs and Sennheiser Sport don't have wear sensors. So neither of these two earbuds are going to automatically play or pause your music if you take them out of your ears or put them back in. And personally, I do feel that this is a major inconvenience. But both the CX Plus and Momentum 3s do have wear sensors, and just given their price points, they better. But finally, let's talk about the active noise cancellation and ambient mode on these earbuds. And this is where the CX Plus and Momentum 3s really differ. And both the CXs and Sennheiser Sport don't have active noise cancellation. Now, even though the ANC on the Momentum 3s is really good, I do want to taper expectations here. The ANC on these earbuds is not going to block out nearly as much noise as a proper pair of over-ear ANC headphones. Like, let's say the Bose QC45, AirPod Max, and the Sony 1000XM5s, which are currently my top 3 ANC headphones. Because as of mid-2022, the Sony WF-1000XM4s are still ranked number 1 when it comes to active noise cancellation, because they block out the most amount of noise here. Albeit, they do have an advantage because of their itchy foam ear tips, which personally I am just not a fan of. Now, right below them are the Sony LinkBud S, which also block out a ton of noise, but they're using silicone ear tips, so they're way more comfortable. Now, right below them are the Momentum 3s, which also block out a ton of noise while also using silicone ear tips. Now, right below them are the Jabra Elite 85Ts. Below them are the AirPods Pro. Below them are the Jabra Elite 7 Pros. Below them are the Beats Fit Pro, and below them are the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, below the Galaxy Buds Pro are the Beats Studio Buds. Below them are the Galaxy Buds 2, and below them are the Sennheiser CX Plus. So overall, the Momentum 3s rank very well when it comes to active noise cancellation. But this is one of the major upgrades that you get from going from the CX Plus to the Momentum 3s, besides just having wireless charging. And again, when it comes to the ambient mode on these earbuds, the ambient mode on the Momentum 3s sounds much more natural than the ambient mode found on the CX Pluses. And you can also adjust the ambient mode on the Momentum 3s to your liking. Now, both the Bass CXs and Sennheiser Sport don't have an ambient mode. However, the Sennheiser Sport do come included with a set of open silicone ear tips, which will still let in ambient noise even when you have the earbuds in your ears. And this is pretty nice. However, you can't turn this off at the press of a button like you can with these other earbuds. You gotta change out the ear tips every single time. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, the Bass CXs, Sennheiser Sport, and CX Plus all have decent enough sounding microphones, but I do feel that the microphone on the Bass CXs does sound a little far away. Whereas the microphone on the CX Plus, there's a slight echo in the background. Whereas with the Sennheiser Sport, these are doing a slightly better job of focusing on my voice. But I do feel that the Momentum 3s have the best clarity here. Albeit, I do have to point out that all of Sennheiser's earbuds do have a very faint hissing in the background. But where the Momentum 3s do stand out is when it comes to blocking out noise pollution, because right now this microphone is doing a decent job of blocking out this road noise and elevating my voice. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Momentum 3s, it is greatly reduced. Whereas with all of these other earbuds, they are letting in more road noise, but at least my voice still sounds decent here. And again, here are the Sennheiser Sport, which are also letting in a noticeable amount of road noise, but at least my voice still sounds decent here. And finally, here are the Bass CXs, which are also letting in a noticeable amount of noise pollution, and my voice isn't super prominent here. And it's the same thing when it comes to blocking out chatter. These earbuds aren't blocking out all that much ambient noise, and my voice isn't super prominent. Whereas with both the Sennheiser Sport and CX Plus, my voice is more prominent, but they're still letting in a decent amount of chatter. Because here are the CX Plus, and I gotta say, these sound very similar to the Sennheiser Sport. But finally, here are the Momentum 3s, which I feel are blocking out the most amount of noise here, and they have the best clarity. But again, for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're gonna clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the Momentum 3s, it is reduced. Now, the Momentum 3s don't have the best sounding microphone out there, but it is the best sounding microphone here. But with all that being said, here is my breakdown of Sennheiser's wireless earbud lineup as of mid-2022. If sound quality is your main priority, then none of Sennheiser's earbuds are going to disappoint because they're all using the same 7mm true response drivers that have great instrument separation, great clarity, and they have very deep and clean resonating bass that also has a nice punch to it. So if you're on a tight budget and if you're only concerned about sound, then the base CXs will deliver you that sound at a very reasonable price. However, if you want the complete package with active noise cancellation and ambient mode and aware sensors, then you might want to go with the CX Plus. Now, the Momentum 3s also offer the complete package like the CX Plus. Plus, they also have wireless charging and those earphones that could help with your fit. But where the Momentum 3s really differentiate themselves from the CX Plus is the effectiveness of their active noise cancellation, better sounding ambient mode, and better sounding microphone for phone calls. And finally, there are the Sennheiser Sport. The Sport are basically a reskinned version of the base CXs, except they have those larger earphones and larger case to accommodate those earphones, and they also come included with open ear tips so they can let in ambient noise if you want. But personally for me, even though they're not perfect, the Momentum 3s are currently my favorite earbuds to use. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.